Upper Moon to Duma has arrived. The battle at Infinity Castle grows increasingly intense. Hello everyone, this is Mermaid Town. After Upper Moon to Duma and Upper Moon 3 Akaza were both defeated, on Tanjiro's side he is in a coma. In a daze he smells something burning. At first Tanjiro planned to sleep a bit longer, but the strong scent woke him up. After waking Tanjiro, sees Jutami Oka has started a fire, heating his sword's blade. At first Tanjiro thought Ji's sword was chipped, but Ju calmly said, since the snow keeps falling, he decided to warm it up a bit. The burning smell Tanjiro noticed was the smell of Ji's flesh. Ju asked Tanjiro if he wanted to try it. Tanjiro, horrified, immediately said his wounds were only superficial. While Ju was making BBQ, Tanjiro prepared himself mentally tense, ready to face any demons that might appear. At this moment, a crow reported news of victory. Shinobu Kocho Kan na Otsuyuri and one Hashira 3 in total defeated Upper Moon 2. Tanjiro, astonished, quickly asked about Tsuyuri and Kan na O's condition. Learning they were still alive, his heart hanging in suspense, felt relieved. On this side, they just defeated Upper Moon 3. On the other, they defeated Upper Moon 2. This was truly uplifting news. It seems they're getting closer to defeating Muzan Kibutsuji. On Mitsuriken Royi's side, she and Obanai Iguro encountered Nakimi. Upper Moon for Nakimi. Obanai Iguro didn't expect Muzan's speed in finding replacements to be so fast, feeling he needed to step up Mitsuriken Roji, though unclear about the opponent's techniques. Still charged forward toward Nakimi, facing Mitsuriken Roji, who appeared in a flash. Nakimi lightly plucked the strings of her biwa. A wooden door materialized from thin air, knocking Mitsuriken Roji out through it. Seeing Mitsuriken Roji fall after hitting the door, Nakimi felt a bit bored. At this moment, Mitsuriken Roji's face flushed red, due to her reckless action just now. It was truly embarrassing. Rushing in without understanding the situation, using too much force, she returned to Obanai Iguro's side. Obanai Iguro told her not to rush. They should observe the opponent's strength to devise a suitable plan. Reminded by Obanai Iguro, Mitsuriken Roji, blushing, could only nod. At this moment, the ground beneath them suddenly lost its support. But with their vast experience, this wasn't a major threat. Even as doors on the floor kept opening, Mitsuriken Roji skillfully dodged. However, Nakimi didn't just open doors. When an entire structure surged toward them, Obanai Iguro fell into a passive position. Mitsuriken Roji initially worried for Obanai Iguro, but soon after, her position turned into a moving building, crashing toward the other side at incredible speed. Just before the collision, Mitsuriken Roji closed her eyes and attacked wildly. The building behind her instantly shattered into pieces. At this moment, Mitsuriken Roji felt she had grasped Nakim's blood demon art. It was controlling structures like limbs, though very unique. To her, it wasn't a major threat. Mitsuriken Roji said this and charged at Nakimi again, swinging her sword while saying she wouldn't fall for the same move twice. After 2.5 spins, Mitsuriken Roji indeed perfectly dodged the wooden door Nakimi summoned. But as she stepped on the wall to swing her sword, the wall under Mitsuriken Roji turned into a door, opening. In shock, Mitsuriken Roji was thrown down mercilessly. As Mitsuriken Roji fell, Obanai Iguro seized the opportunity, attacking fiercely, aiming straight for Nakim's neck. Unfortunately, just as he was about to strike, Obanai Iguro lost his footing and fell. This kind of move, not highly damaging but extremely annoying, made Obanai Iguro gently catch Mitsuriken Roji. If they kept fighting like this, it might become a long, frustrating battle. On Gyomei Jima's side, guided by a crow, they were nearing Muzan Kibutsuyi's hiding place. But just as they were advancing quickly, with a rustling sound, Muichiro Takitu was pushed out. In a moment where every second counted, Mu Ichiro Takita told Gyomei Himejima not to mind him, to keep moving forward. Then with a heavy crash, Mu Ichiro Takita arrived in another space, only to see Upper Moon 1 Koku Shibo waiting. Mu Ichiro Takita didn't expect to face Upper Moon 1 so soon. Upper Moon 1 Koku Shibo was also surprised, because on Mu Ichiro Takita, he smelled a familiar scent. Seeing Upper Moon 1 Koku Shibo so close, Mu Ichiro Takita immediately prepared to fight. Through the transparent world, Koku Shibo confirmed the person before him seemed to have a deep connection with him. Speaking of Koku Shibo's strength, it was unmatched by the other Upper Moons. Even just standing there, one could feel his calm and heavy presence, and an overwhelming majesty. Moreover, Mu Ichiro Takita noticed the sword in his hand, though its form had changed. If he wasn't mistaken, he was once a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. The immense pressure made Mu Ichiro Takita, before even starting, feel his body instinctively reject fighting. This was the first time in his life he faced such a situation. At that moment, Koku Shibo calmly asked for his opponent's name. Though it felt strange, Mu Ichiro Takita still told the truth. After learning his opponent's real name, Koku Shibo murmured, "It seems the Koku family has vanished from history." Mu Ichiro Takita didn't understand what he meant, but Koku Shibo seemed relieved, saying, "After all hundreds of years have passed." Koku Shibo introduced that when he was human, his name was Kikoku no Butake, and you, young one, are a descendant of the child I left behind in the Koku family. In other words, Mu Ichiro Takita was his descendant. Hearing Koku Shibo say this, Mu Ichiro Takita felt a chill. If this guy was his ancestor, according to the master, he was the one who wielded the original sun breathing. Though the situation was dire, Mu Ichiro Takita quickly calmed himself. This mental strength also earned Koku Shibo's admiration. Overcoming fear, Mu Ichiro Takita immediately rushed toward Koku Shibo and unleashed mist-breathing 8th form haze. Unfortunately, this move missed Koku Shibo for the refined swordsmanship of his descendant. Koku Shibo praised it as not bad. Mu Ichiro Takita didn't linger, quickly unleashing mist-breathing sea of clouds, once again missing Koku Shibo's elusive movements. Like a demon, at this point Koku Shibo didn't treat him as an opponent, but rather like an elder, constantly praising Mu Ichiro Takita, praising until the end, not forgetting to say he was worthy of being his descendant. Though the bloodline had thinned greatly, though they had changed, the cells of his could not be altered, still passed down and surviving. Mu Ichiro Takita retorted, asking if he was mocking him, even if he was his descendant. After hundreds of years, how could his blood and cells still live in his body? After saying this, Mu Ichiro Takita activated his Demon Slayer mark. Seeing the Longob sent Demon Slayer mark, Koku Shibo was somewhat surprised. Mu Ichiro Takita immediately unleashed 7th form, recalling how this move had once taken down Gyako directly. Seeing a move had never witnessed, Koku Shibo grew interested, watching Mu Ichiro Takita swing his sword toward him. After a swift slash, only a residual shadow remained. This unique rhythm, unpredictable movements. The technique was not only powerful, but also held a special beauty. Seeing his descendant create his own technique and execute it, Koku Shibo felt that not drawing his sword would be disrespectful. Mu Ichiro Takita saw a crescent moon flash before his eyes. His arm instantly detached from his body. This was moon breathing never heard of before. Even as a demon, he could still wield breathing techniques. Their speeds were not on the same level. Mu Ichiro Takita quickly thought tearing his clothes to tie his arm tightly to avoid excessive blood loss. Though the chance was slim, at this moment he could only seize the gaps in Koku Shibo's techniques to attack. Koku Shibo was very satisfied with Mu Ichiro Takita's performance. He stood still waiting for Muichiro to strike. Just as he was about to reach his neck, he directly grabbed Muichiro-Taketo's Nichiren blade, then pinned Muichiro-Taketo to a pillar. Muichiro-Taketo, use your demon body to serve that lord. Meeting a descendant of his cells in Infinity Castle, Kokushibo felt deeply moved. Seeing Muichiro-Taketo stay silent, he grew to appreciate this junior even more. With the punishment just now, if he became a demon, there would be nothing to worry about. His arm could regenerate. Wounds would heal quickly. Currently, the only upper moon left to fight was him. Kokushibo alone. If Muichiro-Taketo became a demon, perhaps that lord would acknowledge him. Before preparing to keep Muichiro-Taketo from dying immediately, Kokushibo thoughtfully stopped his bleeding. Because humans are so fragile, too much blood loss would kill them. Even so, he still needed that lord's approval. If not approved, death would be Muichiro-Taketo's fate. Appreciation aside, in reality, Muichiro-Taketo's current strength was only this much. While Kokushibo was bandaging, Genya, hiding nearby, waited for his chance to strike. Seizing the moment Kokushibo was slightly distracted, he immediately fired 2 shots toward him. However, Kokushibo had long noticed Genya's presence. As Genya aimed, he was already behind Genya. The overwhelming pressure made Genya's hair stand on end. Before he could react, the arm holding the gun was severed. Muichiro-Taketo shouted Genya's name. He tried to draw his Nichiren blade to help Genya, but the blade was stuck in the pillar. How could it be easily pulled out? Losing his left arm, Genya immediately drew his Nichiren blade. But as expected, that arm was severed too. Smelling Genya's unique blood, Kokushibo realized this was the rumored demoniating human. After saying this, Kokushibo slashed again. Genya's body was cut in half. This scene drove Muichiro-Taketo, unable to escape, nearly mad. Seeing Genya cut in half, Kokushibo was surprised. He didn't expect Genya's body cut in half to still not be fully dead. Kokushibo said, over 300 years ago, he had met a demoniating swordsman, but that one died after being cut in half. Kokushibo felt, perhaps only severing Genya's neck would truly kill him, and a suited man like him had no reason to survive. Saying this, Kokushibo raised his sword again, while Genya struggled, trying to reattach his arm, only to see a crescent moon appear behind Genya. Feeling a chilling aura, he still wasn't dead. Though shocked, the cold aura behind him came from Sanemi Nazuga Washington, his older brother. Sanemi appeared just in time. As Upper Moon 1 Kokushibo stepped back, he muttered that the Wind Hashira had arrived. Sanemi didn't waste words with him, charging straight into battle. This is the sharp blade that can break your neck. Genya was shocked by his brother's appearance, and Sanemi, who always had a harsh attitude toward him, finally dropped his scolding tone. Sighing that Genya was truly a troublesome little brother, he didn't hesitate to kill their mother, just to protect this younger brother. Sanemi asked Genya if he knew why. Genya recalled during training a conversation with Tanjiro. Tanjiro said, though Sanemi was furious about Genya joining the Demon Slayer course, there was no trace of resentment, no hint of hostility. So Tanjiro told Genya not to be afraid. If he had something to say, he could speak directly to Sanemi. It would be fine, because Sanemi's nose was so sharp. He could sense that Sanemi always loved Genya the most. Sanemi told Genya to find a place, get married, have kids, live until his teeth fall out from old age. The filial duty he couldn't fulfill for their mother, the responsibility he couldn't complete for his siblings. Genya, you should let your wife and kids live happily to make up for it. Sanemi said, had never let demons come near them again. Hearing his brother's heartfelt wish, Genya's emotions surged like a flood. Seeing the two brothers, both Demon Slayer Corps members, Kokushibo sighed. It was truly nostalgic. unable to contain his anger, Sanemi turned his rage into strength, even if it's Upper Moon one, even if it's Muzan ki Butsuji if they hurt his brother. Head slash without mercy. Saying this, Sanemi charged at Kokushaibo, only to see Kokushaibo miss a strike. Sanemi perfectly dodged with his stance, while aiming for Kokushaibo's ankle. Unfortunately, Kokushaibo lightly leapt, floating in midair. Sanemi wasn't discouraged. Instead, he unleashed wind-breathing sixth form, switching from single strikes to wideria attacks. This refined fighting style fully showcased the wind Hashira's strength. When the fierce wind stopped, Kokushaibo finally faced Sanemi hidden. This was the first time in the battle anyone saw Kokushaibo's blade. Sanemi looked at the terrifying sword, sarcastically saying, "Your sword is disgusting." As the two blades clashed, Kokushaibo only needed to grip his sword tightly to unleash moon-breathing, moon-breaking rock frog. Thanks to his battle awareness, Sanemi quickly retreated, only to see countless crescent-shaped attacks surrounding Kokushaibo, creating wideria damage. Though Sanemi barely dodged, it was still tough, but he laughed loudly saying, "Your sword can slash repeatedly without swinging." Kokushaibo didn't give him time to talk, quickly rushing to his front. In the clash of two breathing techniques, this round was evenly matched, a balanced fight, but currently Kokushaibo still wasn't fully serious, constantly assessing Sanemi's strength. Truly commendable. On Sanemi's side, he only felt the opponent was hair-raising because this guy's swordsmanship not only carried irregular small blades with each slash, but their length and size constantly changed. That wasn't the strangest part. The strangest was even if you dodged the attack, the crescent-shaped strikes would distort unpredictably. If not for years of honing his battle instincts, he'd have fallen in less than 2 rounds. Add to that this terrifying speed. This demon's body and everything were superior. Even knowing breathing techniques, his speed and attack power were even more exceptional. Sanemi had never seen such a bizarre existence. He felt he had to destroy him. Sanemi shouted, unleashing wind-breathing second form claws. Claws purify wind. Even Kokushaibo didn't expect an attack like a wild beast charging to directly cut into his Nichiren blade, though he neutralized the second form with an attack. The next moment, as Sanemi rushed to his front, Kokushaibo blocked this direct slash and seized the brief gap when their blades met to unleash another crescent-shaped attack at such close range as Sanemi could hardly dodge. But the next moment, Kokushaibo sensed something wrong, only to see a blade aimed at his chin, ready to pierce upward. Sanemi had another sword. Dodging this surprise attack, Kokushaibo realized Sanemi used his toes to grip the sword. It was Genya's Nichiren blade. Sanemi's action was as if Genya was fighting alongside him. Then, the two continued their fierce battle. The clash of the strong made Kokushaibo's long-numbed heart start to feel excited. Even at this speed, as Sanemi could keep up, Kokushaibo's words seemed to tell everyone. Up to this moment, he was still testing Sanemi's strength limits, but facing Kokushaibo nearly without flaws. The high-intensity attacks made Sanemi's nose bleed. Genya stared wide-eyed because he didn't dare blink, fearing in less than a second, a slight misstep with the blade would cost his life instantly. Sanemi's strength reminded Kokushaibo of the Warring States era, when he had clashed with a Wind Hashira, competing in swordsmanship. While reminiscing, Kokushaibo grew more serious. Moon breathing, sixth form lone moon endless night, left Sanemi instantly covered in wounds. The surrounding pillars were shredded, blocked by pillars and walls. Hearing the loud noise, Genya was constantly worried for his big brother. On Sanemi's side, thick blood dripped to the ground. At this point, he was gravely injured. Given the intensity of that attack, Kokushibo advised him not to move, because moving would make his organs spill out. But lasting this long, he was already very satisfied. But just as Kokushibo finished speaking, he was slightly startled, because he clearly felt his blood vessels beating faster. Facing this, Sanemi smirked. They say demon blood is like liquor to a cat. Sanemi said, then attacked again. This time, while dodging, Kokushibo stumbled slightly. Sanemi laughed, saying, my blood. Even demons get drunk smelling it. This time I'll make you drunk enough for this special blood. Sanemi discovered it in his early demon hunting days. Speaking of it, when his mother turned into a demon, it was because he bled that her movements slowed. Killing his beloved mother made Sanemi feel the world lost its color, leaving him alone writhing in darkness, not knowing about the demon slayer cores or Nichiren blades. At first, to kill demons, Sanemi equipped himself with countless tools, captured demons, and waited for sunrise to burn them. That period was Sanemi's most frenzied. Surviving besides bloodsucking was largely due to luck. Until hunting demons, he met a Demon Slayer Corps member. This person was named Kwang-jin, a Demon Slayer Corps member. After witnessing Sanemi's strength, introduced him to his master. But Sanemi knew this twisted world. Good people always die first. Though they defeated a lower moon together, only he became a Hashira. Sanemi turned his frustration with the world into strength, clearly gravely injured, yet still able to wield breathing techniques. Kokushibo couldn't help but marvel, as Sanemi was the only one had seen so gravely wounded, yet still able to fight. Did he stop his own bleeding? Was there now a breathing technique to clot blood? Or did he use tense muscles to keep his organs from spilling? Either way, Sanemi's performance far exceeded normal human limits. Kokushibo found it very interesting. The battle continued fiercely. The intoxication from the blood for Kokushibo made him even more excited. The blood didn't slow Kokushibo. After getting excited, Kokushibo stepped on Sanemi's sword. The terrifying force made Sanemi mid-attack fall to the ground, and Kokushibo seized the moment he couldn't attack, aiming straight for Sanemi's neck, raising his Nichiren blade full of eyes. In that critical moment, Sanemi recalled his first meeting with the master. Back then he didn't understand the master. At first he thought the master was just an annoying guy. Demon Slayer Corps members suffered in pain, yet he could smile without getting his hands dirty or risking his life. That high and mighty attitude, like a superior Sanemi despised. Out of defiance, at his first Hashira meeting he loudly challenged Sanemi's behavior, made the other Hashira unhappy. Gyomei Jaime Jima gently held him, telling him to speak properly. But the master let Sanemi continue. Sanemi still remembered Kanao Otsuyuri worried, saying a few words. But seeing the master's gentle demeanor, he couldn't help but mock. This exaggerated acting he couldn't stand, clearly treating them like pawns to be used and discarded. Plus, it was obvious Muzan had never studied swordsmanship. Such a person leading the Demon Slayer Corps was truly nauseating. Sanemi berated the master, but after hearing him vent, the master only said a caring apology. In truth, Muzan hadn't never tried swinging a sword, but after less than 10 swings, his pulse would falter. If he could, he too wanted to be like everyone, a strong swordsman, protecting others' lives with his own strength. But his physical limits, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't do it. He could only push the painful tasks onto their shoulders. Muzan deeply apologized for this. Hearing the master's response, Sanemi was stunned, because looking into the master's eyes, he remembered his mother. That was the love of a parent for their child. That feeling was like his mother gently stroking his cheek. The master continued, if Demon Slayer Corps members were pawns, then he too was a pawn. because even if he died, it wouldn't affect the Demon Slayer course. A successor was ready to take his place. Since this was Sanemi's first Hashira meeting, the master wanted him to understand better. Perhaps because everyone bowed to him, he misunderstood. The master explained, he wasn't anyone noble. Everyone treated him this way out of kindness. If Sanemi didn't like it, he didn't have to follow suit. Instead of worrying about these things, the master hoped Sanemi as a Hashira would protect others well. Also, he knew the member Kwang Jin had just passed. Calling Sanemi here so soon, he apologized. Hearing the master mention Kwang Jin's name, Sanemi was utterly shocked. At this, Kana Otsuyuri, standing nearby, added, after becoming the head, the master always remembered the name of every fallen member and their lives. Kanao's addition left Sanemi even more stunned, because even he couldn't remember all the names of fallen members. The master stood and called Sanemi. He said every Demon Slayer Corps member wrote a will, though hard to believe. Their contents were almost the same. Kwang Jin was no exception. The master said, handing Kwang Jin's will to Sanemi. Kwang Jin saw in Sanemi the shadow of his deceased younger brother. Like Sanemi, Kwang Jin dreamed of a bright future, hoping those dear to him could smile, live happily until old age, wishing they'd never face unjust threats. Even if then, he couldn't be by their side, he hoped they'd live well. Kwang Jin's will brought tears to Sanemi's eyes. It was this desire to protect others that at the critical moment, Sanemi used his brother's gun to block Kokusaiba's fatal strike. Sanemi immediately pulled the trigger, but at such close range, the gun couldn't even wound. Kokusaiba unleashed moon breathing again. Moon breathing third form, swallow's tail vanishing eclipse. This was meant to be a killing blow, but at the critical moment he missed. Looking at the figure in the dust, Kokusaiba unhappily said, truly one after another coming uninvited. The one who arrived was the Demon Slayer Corps' strongest force, only to hear Gyomei Himejima slowly say, the Demon Slayer Corps will stand eternal until every demon in this world is eradicated. After saving Sanemi, Gyomei told him to quickly stitch the wound in his abdomen. During this time, head handle Kokusaiba, seeing Big Brother arrive, Sanemi rarely apologized, then began treating his wound on the spot. Seeing Gyomei swing his weapon through the transparent world, Kokusaiba couldn't help but marvel. Gyomei's body had been trained to the extreme. A swordsman of such intensity was something he hadn't seen in 300 years. Gyomei didn't waste words with Kokusaiba. Each swing of his flail of destruction felt like its power increased a level. With such terrifying strength, even standing 5 meters away, Kokusaiba felt the air being sucked toward it. The battle of the strong needed only a glance to confirm. The next moment, Gyomei threw his flail of destruction. Kokusaiba wanted to exploit the gap when Gyomei threw his weapon to unleash moon breathing, but before he could, a blade was already at his neck. Letting go of both hands from his weapon, Kokusaiba thought this man was either mad or a fool. Dodging by leaning back, he smoothly unleashed his breathing technique, but Gyomei stepped on the chain, first unleashing stone breathing, second form celestial face wheel. The flail of destruction just thrown smashed back toward him. Interrupted Kokusaiba could only temporarily dodge, but as his feet touched the ground, the chain bound him from behind. Gyomei immediately swung with force, trying to strangle Kokusaiba's neck with the chain. But Kokusaiba wasn't ordinary. A Nichiren blade blocked the chain, attempting to cut Gyomei's chain. But what surprised him again was, even with 300 years of skill, he couldn't cut this chain. Seeing the chain about to strangle his neck, Kokusaiba swiftly ducked his head, escaping the fatal blow, leaving only a lock of hair. This flail iron ball and chain were made of extremely pure iron. Kokusaiba thought If he had slashed hard just now, his sword might have broken first. This iron absorbing much sunlight, even in the Warring States era when sword forging peaked, had never been discovered. But no matter how strong his weapon, Kokusaibo believed Gyomei was just a long-range fighter. If he closed the distance, the problem would be solved. While thinking, Kokusaibo rushed toward Gyomei, his eye-covered Nichiren blade, in a flash aimed at Gyomei's neck. After swinging a crescent moon, he missed again, only to see Gyomei leap into the air, and in that brief moment pull the chain, slashing toward Kokusaibo. This time Kokusaibo's clothes were torn. Gyomei followed with a swing of the flail of destruction. Kokusaibo tilted his body, dodging with small steps. To use such weapons so naturally, with such a large build, yet so agile, Kokusaibo couldn't help but marvel. Truly unbelievable. This time Gyomei aimed for Kokusaibo's Nichiren blade. Kokusaibo didn't rush to draw his sword, but while charging unleashed crescent-shaped attacks. When Kokusaibo entered attack range, his Nichiren blade was cut by the chain, but he kept swinging his sword. Both unleashed breathing techniques, wanting a hidden clash. The ground was torn with countless cracks. The flail spun rapidly in the air. After this move, Gyomei's face was slashed, while Kokusaibo's sword regenerated. Kokusaibo believed, from the moment he was human, the battle's outcome was decided. He sighed with a pity, but Gyomei assumed a stance to gather strength, originally saving this move for Muzan. But if the fight continued like this, he might actually lose. So using this move now was unavoidable. Gyomei said, his aura rising another level. Stone-like veins appeared on his arm. Onmu Ichiro to Ki 2's side pinned to the stone pillar. After relentless effort, he finally pulled the Nichiren blade from the pillar, falling heavily to the ground. Without a moment's rest, despite severe injuries, he still had to pull the blade from his body. Trembling inch by inch, he moved the blade, finally succeeding in removing it. In that moment, Mu Ichiro to Ki 2 curled up in pain on the ground. But soon after, he struggled to finish bandaging. With such severe wounds, this pierced body wouldn't last long. It would surely die from blood loss. But even if he died, he had to go defeat Kokusaibo. As Mu Ichiro to Ki to prepared to stand and leave, Genyu called him back. Genyu asked Mu Ichiro to help her attach his body, to see if it could be saved. Seeing Genyu wasn't dead, Mu Ichiro to Ki to immediately ran over. But reattaching like this would likely be very difficult. Genyu looked at the lock of Kokusaibo's hair that fell nearby, asking Mu Ichiro to get it for him to eat. Genyu said he also wanted to protect his big brother, to fight until the last moment of his life. Moved Mu Ichiro to Ki to agreed, as a teammate head fight to the end. This fated encounter miraculously united the two groups fighting Upper Moons. Seeing the Stone Hashira activate his Demon Slayer mark, Kokusaibo was both shocked and felt pity for him, because Gyomei looked about 27 years old. Gyomei swung his flail of destruction, asking what of it. Kokusaibo said he pitied Gyomei's impending death, because those with Demon Slayer marks never lived past 25. Even if the mark appeared, granting enhanced strength, it was only the result of trading their life. Kokusaibo believed Gyomei past 25 awakening the mark wouldn't survive the night. Having trained his body and skills to the extreme, yet about to vanish from the world, Kokusaibo found it very regrettable. But to Kokusaibo's words, Gyomei didn't care, because those with Demon Slayer marks knew this. Moreover, even without the mark, Demon Slayer Corps members lived daily in a Ninja Detsuna 5 scenario. Having joined the Demon Slayer Corps, what was their life worth at this moment? Without this resolve, how could one become a Hashira? Gyomei felt Kokusaibo was insulting him, but Kokusaibo explained his meaning wasn't something trivial like life, but if he became a demon, Gyomei could keep his body and skills. Why not try understanding him? To Kokusaibo's words, Gyomei told him to fight instead of talking, because born as a human, dying as a human, was their pride. Gyomei told him not to impose lowly views. While acting superior, facing Kokusaiba's silence, he showed displeasure. But after talking so long, Gyomei pointed out Kokusaiba had lied once. Kokusaiba smirked, because he thought he'd never lied. Gyomei pointed out, some with demon slayer marks lived past 25. An exception existed. Hearing Gyomei say this, Kokusaiba froze. Seeing Kokusaiba waver, Gyomei grew more certain of his thoughts. Angered Kokusaiba immediately swung his sword at Gyomei, but in that brief distance, the chain skillfully blocked the blade. Another round of combat. Gyomei expanded his offense, clashing hidden with Kokusaiba. As an enemy hiding nearby, thanks to Gyomei holding him off, had stitched his wound temporarily. Feeling head rested enough as an enemy, despite the pain, stood up, determined no matter what, to kill Kokusaiba. This awakened Sanemi's demon slayer mark. While Gyomei fought Kokusaiba, Sanemi darted into attack, catching Kokusaiba off guard. He didn't expect this man to have a demon slayer mark too. In other words, most Hashira of this generation had marks. While Kokusaiba pondered, the flail of destruction grazed Sanemi's shoulder, flying toward him, though he dodged the large iron ball. Sanemi had aimed for his ankle. Without his 6 eyes, he might not have dodged this. Different breathing techniques in a fast-paced battle, yet able to coordinate attacks. Kokusaiba was very surprised. Sanemi and Gyomei had trained together. In this moment of coordination, they became even more in sync. The battle continued fiercely. The two Hashira's teamwork put greater pressure on Kokusaiba, and this fight became more balanced than ever.